All right, let's dive into a story that honestly sounds like something straight out of an internet rabbit hole, but it's not. This one escalates into a massive global security crisis. And believe it or not, it all kicks off with a viral video, the Prime Minister of Israel, and an extra finger.
So, this is the question that has just been blowing up social media lately, right? Is Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu actually alive, or has something happened to him? And all this massive speculation, it started with just one really strange video.
And when I say viral, I mean viral. We're talking 11 million views. This thing became the epicenter for a huge conspiracy theory. And the crazy part is Netanyahu is in the middle of talking about the war with Iran. Pretty serious stuff, but nobody cared about that. Everyone zeroed in on this one tiny bizarre detail about his hand.
Okay, so how on earth does a simple hand gesture turn into a global crisis? Well, it all came down to a single frame, just one picture that millions of people took as absolute proof of a huge cover-up. So let's break down the so-called evidence.
Okay, so this is the moment right here. As Netanyahu is talking and gesturing with his hand, for just a fraction of a second, it looks like he has a sixth finger. 5 fingers and a thumb. And, the internet did what the internet does. People immediately started saying, whoa, that's a glitch. That's a classic sign of an AI deepfake video.
And just like that, this one little glitch split everyone online into two completely different camps. You had the conspiracy theorists, and they were convinced. They were saying, look, this is a poorly made AI deepfake. It means the real Netanyahu is either really sick or maybe even dead. But then you had the official story, which was, whoa, hold on, everyone. It's just an optical illusion, a trick of the light from his hand moving fast, nothing more.
In the middle of a tense situation like this, a rumor can spread like wildfire and be just as dangerous as an actual weapon. So with this thing going global, the Israeli government knew they had to jump in and set the record straight fast. And they did. The clarification came out, and it was super direct. Netanyahu's office basically said, the prime minister is, and I'm quoting here, very much alive. They insisted the video was real. So, case closed, right? Everyone moves on? Well, not quite. Because this is where the whole story takes a really sharp and honestly a much darker turn. That whole six-fingered hand thing, it might be totally fake, but the real danger to Netanyahu and frankly to the rest of the world is terrifyingly real. So we're moving from a weird online rumor to an actual state-sponsored threat. See, when the Iranian government was asked about this video, they didn't even bother to say if it was real or fake. Instead, they just issued this really chilling statement of their own. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. This isn't some random person posting on a forum. This is an official statement from the Iranian government put out there for the entire world to see. It is a direct public promise to assassinate the leader of another country. So here's the bottom line. The actual threat here isn't some glitchy deepfake video. The real threat is a government publicly saying, we intend to kill the leader of Israel. The rumor was totally bogus, but the assassination plot, well, that's now their official stance. But an assassination plot is just one piece of the puzzle. Beyond that direct threat, there's a whole other war being fought here. It's a kind of hidden economic war, and the whole point is to just drain the resources of Israel and its allies. Okay, check this out. An Iranian kamikaze drone, and they're launching these things in huge swarms, costs about $20,000 for a weapon of war that's actually pretty cheap to mass produce. Now, look at this number. To stop that one $20,000 drone, what's considered the best air defense system out there, the Patriot system, has to fire an interceptor missile that costs, wait for it, $3 million for a single shot. And that huge difference in cost, that's the whole strategy right there. This isn't just about hitting military targets. It's a war of attrition fought with dollars and cents. Iran can just keep sending swarms of cheap drones, forcing their opponents to burn through these incredibly expensive missiles, basically bleeding their arsenals dry, one $3 million shot at a time. And this isn't just a problem for the Middle East. That economic drain is starting to cause a global domino effect, and it has huge strategic consequences for countries all over the world. First, let's just look at the region itself. You've got explosions rocking Dubai, Kuwait's international airport getting bombed. I mean, the image that these Gulf nations like the UAE have spent years building, that they're these super safe havens for business and investment,
That's just been shattered. Stability was their entire brand, and now it's literally gone up in smoke.
But the really big domino might just fall on the other side of the planet. Think about it. As the US military is stretching its resources thin, burning through all these expensive munitions in the Middle East, a lot of analysts are warning that this creates what they're calling a golden chance for China to finally, make its move on Taiwan.
Which brings us to right now. The next few days aren't just important, they could literally decide the entire course of this conflict. And what happens here could affect global stability for a long, long time.
So the next week is absolutely critical. This is the period that's going to tell us if this thing is over quickly or if we're in for a long, drawn-out war. Sometime in that week, we're expecting to see Donald Trump unleash the full potential of the U.S. Navy right there in the Strait of Hormuz. That is a massive gamble. And hanging over all of this is the big question. If European powers get dragged deeper into this, is that the moment that China and Russia decide, okay, it's our time to make a major move?
So, there you have it. We went from a weird video of a six-fingered hand all the way to a potential global catastrophe. What started out as a totally bizarre online rumor has peeled back the curtain on this whole web of threats, from economic warfare to regional chaos, all the way to the balance of global power. And it really just leaves us with one final pretty heavy question. Are we watching the conflict that is going to define the next decade?